Hi, a union is a group of voting people who negotiate items such as benefits, holidays, and protect job security for the welfare of all of their members. Local 4400 is a union that represents 12,000 people, and you can see it is more beneficial to negotiate for 12,000 as opposed to one.
Do you think we still need unions?
Well, speaking for myself, I have to look in there. Sorry, I'm looking into the camera. Speaking for myself, and technically not the school board, I do believe that we still need unions. I think that unions serve a vital role in society because there's two ways that societies can organize themselves. One is that all of the rules and regulations and how you work and the conditions in which you work are all determined by just the employer. And I think what the past has taught us is that can be very, very dangerous, because when someone is being discriminatory or asking workers to do something that's dangerous, there is no other outlet to say that this isn't right and we're scared. And often if you just leave it to the government, they're under-resourced and they're not able to do that. So there's a lot of people taking advantage. So I think that when you decide, did it just go off?
Just keep going.
Oh, I think when you decide to be a part of the Canadian society, when you either move here, or you're born here, or you choose to stay here, that you agree that all people who decide to work have the ability to get together collectively and decide on, have a say in some of their working conditions. And I actually think that doesn't make it more unfriendly for working conditions. I think it makes it better. I think it makes it stronger, and I think that companies are more profitable and organizations are more effective when they listen to everyone involved.
Okay. So, do you think we still need unions?
I think to an extent the union model needs to be modified to keep up with current society. So in a way, yes, in a way, no. I'm sorry my answers aren't always the clearest.
Okay. And like, what's your opinion on like opportunities?
I think that it's a very good debate about what's going on. I also think that what's going on, again, has its pros and cons and affects different types of teachers. Older teachers benefit in some way and lose out in some ways, and younger teachers lose out and gain in certain ways. So it's kind of trying to find that middle ground and deciding which issues are most important. So when it comes to pay, who benefits more, who loses out, and is that really the most important thing to fight for?
So do you think what the teachers are doing is right?
I think to a certain extent, yes, and I think that directives from the union aren't always in the best interest of everybody, students, parents, teachers, administrators.
Going to find out what students in Miss Major's Performing Arts class have their opinions on unions, and maybe Miss Major, if she has time. Okay, we're approaching the room. It seems to be very loud. I hear screaming, I'm a bit scared, and what's it? What's your opinion on the teachers' union and strike?
I think that the teachers shouldn't take their anger out on the kids because it's not fair to us.
And some kids, they can't afford extracurriculars on their own, so the school's a good way to provide.
And do you think we still need unions?
Well, I think we need some teachers.
The teachers' unions have called an illegal strike. What's in our plan to reform education that could possibly justify breaking the law? Asking teachers to spend a little more time with their students? Putting an end to larger class sizes? Standardized, understandable report cards? Province-wide testing? I don't think so. We live in a law-abiding society. Breaking the law is not the right example. Let's put our children first.
Made pencils, but so this is you, okay? You're an American pencil. We'll have to pretend that now. And this is the powers that be. They're very strong, and they can do all kinds of things. They unite, by the way. They get together all the time and talk and say, hey, how can we best manipulate these pencils or people? And so, this is you. When they decide that, well, for whatever reason, that they just want to assert power over you in some form or fashion, yeah, that's you. Okay, now, the reason why we want to union, because when this happens, this isn't good. This is a bad thing, okay? We don't want you to end up like this. So, one way we stop that from happening is you, this is you, and a bunch of other yous, people like you, get together. Here you come. Hey, what do you say? We all unionize. We all stand together as one. It's very American. After all, we are the United States of America, and our founding fathers, it's right there in the preamble of the Constitution. It says, in order to form a more perfect union. Yeah, that sounds good. Maybe we'll get a little better wages and a little better standard of living. Yeah. And maybe we won't just get taken advantage of. So when you all get together, then comes the powers that be, those so-called job creators, which, by the way, without a bunch of yous and paying a bunch of people like you in a decent wage, well, they're not the job creators. It's people who have money to spend who create jobs. Okay, just keep that in mind. This job creator BS they're giving everybody, that's just what it is BS. So anyways, here comes the powers. They're like, oh, we decided today we don't really care for you. We want to change things. We want to take away some of your wages, or we want to take away your health care, or something along those lines. We can... yeah. See, that's what happens. When you unionize and you stay together, there's unity. There is power in unity. And again, don't think that the powers that be don't understand this. No, they understand it so well that they're doing everything they can to get all of you to think you're better off, like this. And for some reason, it's working. Well, yeah, but it has come at a price. It did cost them a small fortune.
So, Miss Knight, what's your opinion on unions?
My opinion on unions, I'm supposed to look at the camera, yes?
Yes.
My opinion on unions is, I feel that unions have accomplished a lot of things in our society, and a lot of the working conditions we currently have wouldn't exist if we hadn't have had unions. And unions are responsible for giving us safe working conditions, and unions are responsible for basically the Labor Act even existing, I think, has come from the fact that we had unions. And so I think unions have accomplished a lot, and we wouldn't have the great working conditions that we have if we had never had unions. I think currently there are some issues with unions where some people feel they're no longer necessary, and some unions have been shown to be corrupt, and sometimes unions make decisions that even people in the unions don't necessarily always agree with. So there are issues with unions, but I also think that the working conditions that we have here in Canada and in Ontario wouldn't exist if we had never had unions.
Okay, so do you think we still need them?
Well, I think that I would like to live in a world where we didn't need unions, because I would like it to be that we just had labor laws that protected everyone and kept everyone safe, and then we wouldn't actually need unions. But to say that we have that society right now, I don't think so. I think that we still need unions. And I think that what people don't realize is that unions do more than just get people better wages, which is important. That's an important job of unions, and I think that's really important because better wages is not covered by labor laws, because labor laws would only cover minimum wage. So that's one thing that I think is important, but I also think that unions do a lot of things that people don't necessarily realize. So if someone is being discriminated in the workplace or their employer is treating them unfairly, it is their union who steps in and works with them and protects them. For myself as a teacher, I know a big thing that unions do is if a teacher is accused of doing something by a student, and sometimes we all know that students wrongly accuse teachers of things, the union actually pays for the teacher's employer to help protect them. So if we didn't have the union, then we wouldn't have that protection. So for me, it's not just about wages or sick days or things like that. It goes sort of beyond that into so many other things that the union does for me.
I'll rejoice and sing a song that goes, oh, be calm, be calm. I know you feel like you were breaking down. Oh, I know that it gets so hard sometimes. Be calm, take it from me, I've been there 1,000 times. You hate your puff because it thinks you're still alive, and everything's wrong. It just gets so hard sometimes.
Cocaine heart, swimming pool glimmering, darling. White bikini off with my red nail polish. Watch me in the swimming pool, bright blue ripples. You sitting sipping on your black crystal. Oh yeah. Light of my life, fire of my loins. Be a good baby, do what I want. Light of my
Governor Chris Christie on CBS's 60 Minutes last evening. He's vowed to reform the way unions do business in his state, but is the governor right? Are government unions bankrupting America, or at least contributing to it? Joining us now are radio host Mark Levine and Jerry Boyer, CNBC contributor and author of The Free Market Capitalist's Survival Guide. Welcome to you both. Thank you. To what extent, Mr. Boyer, do you think unions have contributed to the financial state that many states find themselves in? Are they principally responsible for it?
I'd say not exclusively, but principally, I'd say they're near the top of the list. The evidence is overwhelming. You have higher than market wage scales. The states that have the highest levels of unionization are the states that are on that short list of states that are looking at sovereign debt risk. The evidence is overwhelming that we have a pay scale in the public sector that is far higher than market level, that is busting budgets, and that has a lot to do with collective bargaining, which is probably not a good way to organize government employees anyway. I think civil service is a much more efficient way to do it. So I think it's very difficult to argue that unions are not a big part of this problem.
Mark Levine, is it really the union's fault, or is it the fault of politicians on both sides of the aisle who, year after year, time after time, have said yes to practically everything the union wants because they're afraid of taking a strike from the union?
It's neither. It's the fault of Wall Street that created this recession. Look, we had investors spend and gamble tens of trillions of dollars on credit derivatives, causing the Great Recession. To blame the unions for Wall Street's drunken binge, I mean, they went drinking and unions got the hangover. But here's the point. Unions haven't.
We're talking about the state of the state's finances.
Why are the state's finances hurt?
What's your opinion on unions?
Well, I think unions have their pros and cons. I think unions are great because they help to support their employees, but I also think unions don't always make the best decisions for their employees because they're just a collective group of small people that kind of make their decisions.
Okay. What's your opinion on unions? Look at the camera.
My opinion on unions, they can be helpful in certain situations, depending on, for example, I own a small business, and a union could kill our business or totally destroy it. The kind of things that the union demands, the wage levels, the benefits, the hours, the control of the business, could probably destroy a small business like we have. So to a small manufacturer, I think that union is a big disadvantage. On the other hand, for a business like, for example, in California, they have a lot of people that pick fruit, for example, and they could be abused terribly. So, in certain situations, a union could be beneficial. In other situations, it could ruin the whole business.
Okay. So, do you think you still need them?
I think for certain types of businesses, others not so much.
Gotcha. So give us a yes, no, or maybe. And look at the camera.
As I said before, yes for certain types of businesses.
So, what's your opinion on unions?
Well, I should preface this by saying that my dad was a massive union leader his whole life, and my brother is also a union leader, and I was a union leader before I became management. So my opinion is that they play an extremely important role in society, and that they advocate for some of the most marginalized, discriminated against people, and I think that that's really good. I think that some of the rights that women have, that minorities have, that lots of folks have, wouldn't have been possible if it wasn't for unions pushing that. And I think for that reason that they're very necessary. Can they be corrupt? Yes. Can they be sometimes fight for some things that I don't think are progressive, like that I disagree with them? Yes. But on the whole, I wouldn't get rid of them all just because one or two unions made mistakes.
No. Okay. Say bye. Goodbye. Ivor, do you think we still need unions?
I'd say yes, because, well, for somebody who gets, like, the really low end of the deal, working, like, 12 hours a day, and only getting paid about $7 or $8, like, an hour, shouldn't really be like, there needs to be a union to make sure that that's being kept fair, so they've got pay more fair stuff. Do you think marijuana is illegal?
Adrian! What's your opinion on unions?
I'd like to say my opinion on unions. I guess it's good because they keep it so that, like, they get fair amount of money for what they have to do. Spoken earlier.
Gotcha.
Maybe.
Yeah. Yes.
Yes.
Maybe. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
Maybe.
No.
Yes.
Maybe.
No.
Yes. Okay, so my opinion on unions is I think that they're really helpful, but more in the past, because in the present we don't have as many problems recently because there's like the internet and social media and stuff that help you to notice problems. But back then they were really helpful because they got us stuff like the weekend and like labor laws, like minimum wage and stuff like that. And I think that's good.
I also think that unions were better in the past than they are from now. But also, they're good for now because if there are problems with all the teachers or any union, like, they're always there to help with anything.
And also, on my opinion, I'm thinking if we still need them, I would still say yes, because just because they were better in the past doesn't mean things aren't still going to happen in the future. Like, they're always still helpful. And like, you never know, like, they're this like crazy business person and you're like torturing all their workers, and like a union would like save their lives, like, you know. Yeah.
I also think that we still need unions because they do help us. They do help all of their members and they're useful.
Yeah, so that's our opinion. Thanks for watching. Bye all my fans, love you. Mwah.